Well, Ghost of Yotei, the upcoming sequel for Ghost of Tsushima, is actually in a lot of trouble. And I honestly never expected this game to be going in the wrong direction. We have just received information that Sony is not happy with Ghost of Yotei. Now, initially, like everyone else, I thought that Sony was the one that approved this game, and having a female protagonist was a choice that was made by Sony themselves. But right now, it seems like that's not the case. And apparently, from all the latest reports that we've just received, it seems like Sony is actually extremely angry on Sucker Punch Studios when they decided to reveal Ghost of Yotei. Now, this one goes hard because it's coming from Tom Henderson. Now, all of the situation started when Tom Henderson tweeted about Assassin's Creed Shadows and all the controversy stuff that's going on with Assassin's Creed Shadows, where he stated that a lot of people have been talking nonsense on the internet, but it's all about Star Wars Outlaws, the amount of sales that game made, and they have completely forgotten as to the big problem that Ubisoft is facing with Assassin's Creed Shadows being delayed. Because like we discussed in my previous video, Assassin's Creed Shadows is making a lot of changes for Yasuke, and this was confirmed by Tom Henderson, but he's not completely being removed from the game as a main protagonist. Now, of course, he's going to be a protagonist, but Tom Henderson states that now Wei is going to be the main lead protagonist who's going to have a lot more story plot and missions and dialogue options available, but they're going to be nerfing all the stuff away for Yasuke. So initially, this is what Tom Henderson was talking about in this tweet here, that a lot of people are not really focusing on the Assassin's Creed Shadows situation, and they're rather just focusing on the Star Wars Outlaws, to which Michael, out of the blue, Legacy Killer HD, if you guys know him, he's a YouTuber who's been posting a bunch of leaks, information, and insider stuff that apparently he seems to be having someone that keeps leaking all of these information to him. And as a sarcasm, Legacy Killer HD says that, sorry Tom, moved on to the fact that Sony is really angry about Ghost of Yotei starring a female warrior. You know, the game that they funded, approved, and oversee? Now, obviously, Legacy Killer HD is making fun out of the situation that's going on, which is apparently created by this YouTuber named Endymion TV. Now, this guy apparently has been making a lot of outrageous claims for Ubisoft and Sony and so many different companies. And to be honest, man, I don't think any of the stuff that this guy speaks is actually reliable, and I don't feel that he has any kind of source that he claims that he has. So right now, he claimed in his previous video, which I also made a video about for Assassin's Creed Shadows, where he said that, you know, Ubisoft is going to be completely removing Yasuke from the game, and they're going to be doing a bunch of changes and whatnot, which pretty much Tom Henderson did confirm that this dude is completely false in terms of whatever he's claiming, because Tom Henderson, he actually has an insider and he's more reliable, and he also stated that they are not removing Yasuke. They're just altering some stuff, removing a lot of features for Yasuke, but they're not going to be removing that character. Whereas Endymion actually stated that they're going to be removing most of the major parts of Yasuke, and that the game initially had like a Japanese character and then it was cancelled and then made into Yasuke and whatnot. All of these outrageous claims that he made was later then debunked, and Tom Henderson confirmed that all of these information are absolutely false. None of these are true in fact. And now just one day ago, Endymion came up with another outrageous video where he now claims that he has an insider who is not going to be mentioning, he's not going to be giving out their names or any sort of information about this insider, but he will in fact be sharing all the stuff that this insider apparently revealed to him. And from what I've seen in his video, he claims that this insider contacted him and told him that he's actually going to be giving him all of this information, that Sony, the company that approved Ghost of Yotei, had absolutely no idea that Sucker Punch was working on a game that does not involve as a sequel to Jin Sakai's story from Ghost of Tsushima. Now, he also claims that Sony had absolutely no idea that the game was having a female protagonist. Now, when I heard this, I obviously came to a conclusion that all of this stuff that he's spreading is basically false information. Now, of course, a lot of people were talking about how he is falsely claiming all of this stuff by simply just saying that he has a source and whatnot, to which he responded on Twitter stating that the amount of dummies saying that I'm lying about Ubisoft stuff is goofy to me. Now, they're actually demanding I tell them my source. Do you believe that he's going to tell us his source? Where he states that, yeah, here, let me tell their names, their jobs, their positions, and everything everything that'll definitely not dox these people and get them in trouble. Now, to be honest, if this was a source that was reliable, I kind of do understand whatever he's saying. Obviously, you can't really give out information about the source that gave you all of this stuff. The claims that this dude is making is just literally outrageous. Do you even understand? Like, the things that he has been speaking about, Ubisoft as well as Sony at this point, he literally states that Sony had no idea that Ghost of Yotei was going to have a female protagonist. Now, there's also the same situation that Michael, Legacy Killer HD, and Tom Henderson have been making fun of. And Tom Henderson also responded to Legacy Killer HD for this hilarious tweet where he says that those executives must have all been on vacation during the multiple internal presentation that happens each and every single year. And this game has already been in production for a very long time. I believe that a game like Ghost of Tsushima is at least going to take about 2 to 3 years to be developed. And of course, it's not like a huge game which has like a massive open world and a lot of activities and stuff. Of course, it's a story-oriented game. And all of these 3 years, of course, the people that are developing the game need to go ahead and get approval from Sony, because Sony are the publishers. PlayStation obviously knows everything about the game. They obviously are the ones that approved it. But as far as what this dude claims, he apparently states that Sony and PlayStation had no idea at all. And when they were presented with Ghost of Yotei, they were really shocked that they were going with a female protagonist. And during the last minute press conference, they had to go ahead and give it a green light and announce it because PS5 Pro was coming out and they had no choice in it. And apparently Sony was extremely angry and they were not really happy about Ghost of Yotei. Now, this is the outrageous claim that's been going on. Now, another Twitter user responded to Tom Henderson. I have people in this thread telling me that Sony doesn't check in on these studios, and I'm just laughing. Now, if you check out this thread, she says that you might be the biggest dumbass of all time if you believe that Sony had no idea what it was spending hundreds of millions of dollars on for the last 4 years. So 4 years is how much it took in order to develop Ghost of Yotei. YouTuber Endymion shared this information from an alleged insider. He said, apparently Ghost of Yotei blindsided many people that were working at Sony who were not made aware of what Sucker Punch was even making. Wow. Just, can you freaking believe what this dude is even talking about? He also added on, and that people in the mid-levels at Sony were actually confused when Yotei was announced because they were under the impression that Jin Sakai would be getting a sequel. Edimian also shared, and they are not happy at all when it comes to the response of that game either internally at Sony right now. Oh my god, dude. This is just outrageous claims at this point. I don't know how this is even believable at this point. A lot of people actually did seem to be believing this stuff. Whatever claims this dude has been making is just ridiculous. Like, just imagine if you are running Sony. Do you honestly believe that if you're investing hundreds of millions of dollars into a game, into producing this game for the past 4 years, and you absolutely have no idea that they're developing Ghost of Yotei, where the main protagonist is a female character, and according to his claims, it seems like the game was completely done, finished, and Sucker Punch completely developed the game, and after 4 years of hiding, they came out and told Sony that this is what we have prepared for 4 years, and are you guys ready to be surprised? And Sony was like, all right, show us what you got in here. And they were really angry that 4 years they haven't been paying attention as to what their own developers were making. Now, come on, I've seen so many bullshit on the internet, but I think this one breaks the records of all the bullshits that I've seen so far. But yeah, honestly speaking though, a lot of people have been judging Ghost of Yotei. It's especially because of the main protagonist of the game and the voice actor of the protagonist, where Erika Ishii is the voice actor of the main protagonist we're going to be playing as in Ghost of Yotei. And if you take a look at her bio page on Twitter and all the cringe tweets that she's been doing for all this time, you'll actually find out that her gender is all pronouns, and she's one of those cringy activist women who's been supporting the pronouns, genders, and all that stuff. And she was even protesting to defund the police. And as you can see from her tweets, she says abolish the police and you need to defund them and remove them and all that stuff. So a lot of gamers are really mad that Sony decided to cast her as the main protagonist. The gamers nowadays like to call as the woke actress, who's here to spread all the wokeism inside the gaming industry. So it seems like some gamers are not really happy, but of course that's a very minority situation. But however, I don't think that this whole situation is going to be affecting the game, because no matter if the actress is an activist or if she's gay or straight or whatever her pronouns are, I don't think it's going to be affecting the game in any sort of way, because the game is envisioned and it's basically transitioned into whatever the company wants to do. And that is all the way the game will be produced. And I don't think the actors and actresses are going to make any huge difference based on their personal choices of life. But as we know, nowadays there is a lot of woke stuff that is getting into gaming industry, and almost every single game that's coming out in 2023 and 2024 has all been promoting some sort of a woke agenda, man. It's always this. I don't know why that's happening. And now in 2024, it seems like gamers are finally tired of looking at all these woke stuff being pushed onto them, and they're finally taking stand. And they now feel that enough is enough. We're no longer going to be supporting any of these woke stuff. So as soon as you see a woke game coming out, gamers are taking stand with their wallets and they're no longer supporting these games. So that is exactly what happened with Ubisoft, due to which the entire company went down. The whole stock market fell so low that I honestly think that Ubisoft might get sold anytime, and I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. But I believe the issue is not just this, because a lot of games, if you take a look at them, if you look closely, you'll actually get to know that Sony is completely getting rid of male protagonists in the game. And it seems like they're just promoting this DEI stuff where they're pushing in their agendas and bringing in as many female characters as possible. And it's very clear, because if you take a look at The Last of Us, they killed off Joel, and now we're going to be playing as Ellie, and that kind of makes sense at the end of the day. And if you take a look at Uncharted, Nathan Drake's storyline is completely done, and now we have a female character whose storyline is now being continued. And they even cut off Days Gone, because apparently that game had a masculine male as a main protagonist. And after Ghost of Tsushima, they've now decided to even remove Jin Sakai and give us like a female character. And we also have Horizon Forbidden West, Horizon Zero Dawn. Those games are being remastered. And as you can see, everything is just turning into this female protagonist every single year. And all of these changes are being made so sleek that I don't think gamers are even noticing. And every single game is turning into a DEI infestation where they're clearly going to be pushing in this agenda. And that's exactly what most of the claims have also been about. And it seems like they're doing the same, and now Sony is also doing the same. And I honestly don't know how far this is going to be going, and hopefully it doesn't keep continuing with other developers as well. Now, good news is that Square Enix is actually ending their relationship with Sweet Baby Inc., who have been one of the most woke companies out there, who have been like this organization that has always been controlling gaming industry. And apparently from all the research that I've done, it seems like they're the ones that keep pushing all of these woke agendas out there. So after what happened to Forspoken, we obviously saw that game failed extremely, and it seems like Square Enix have finally ended their relationship with Sweet Baby Inc. And I hope that most of the upcoming developers end all of their relationship with Sweet Baby Inc. if they want to survive, because if they don't, I think whatever happened to Ubisoft is going to be the same case for all the developers out there at this point, because gamers are finally taking stand and they're done with any of the woke stuff and DEI inclusion with video games, making characters look absolutely ugly and whatnot. Like, they've been doing some ridiculous stuff. So I really hope that this stuff completely ends and we finally get to see some really good games coming out. So let me know in the comments down below, what do you guys think, and what are your perceptions about all the things that's going on with the DEI stuff and Sony and Ghost of Yotei. I would love to hear your thoughts down below in the comments. Now, yeah, with that being said, I'm really looking forward to seeing whether Sony is going to be responding to all these outrageous claims that's been going on in the community. Hopefully that happens so that these outrageous claims get to be debunked and we finally know who's speaking the truth and who's blatantly lying for just a short period of clout and growth on YouTube. So yeah, with that being said, if you guys are looking for a YouTube channel that covers all the latest and the greatest information, news, updates, gameplays, trailers, announcements, leaks, and all the stuff that you guys need about upcoming games, it's going to be available first on my channel. So make sure to go ahead, subscribe. It's absolutely free of cost. You don't have to pay a dime in order to subscribe. That's the best thing about YouTube. So make sure to go ahead, smack that subscribe button, turn the notifications on so that you guys can stay notified with all the videos that I upload every single day. With that being said, if you guys did go on and enjoy this video, please just take a few seconds of your valuable time, drop a like on this video. It really goes a long way for me as a creator, helps me get motivated in order to make better content for you guys every single day. Now, with that being said, hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you guys on tomorrow's video. Until then, take it easy, fams, and goodbye.